Throughout Tim's career, he had the opportunity to work with many different collaborators from many different sides of the music industry. And this next collaborator is one who had a fantastic career in bluegrass and country music, doing many different things like the Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack. But when his voice hit Tim's ears, Tim knew that he wanted to work with him, and he reached out. This is Dan Tyminski. Hello, Dan.
Hello, hello.
How
So
are
how
you?
today?
Oh, good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you.
So the last time we ran into each other was in Sweden at the Avicii tribute.
We were in Stockholm for a crazy big crowd of people. It was an amazing event.
There was so much love there
Oh,
for Tim to have grown up in that city and in that country, and to have that much love shown in his passing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad that I was part of it.
oh, it was the most amazing experience to get to be there for a week leading up to it. We got to spend some time around, and as we talked to people and met new people, um, I knew Tim was thought of in such a positive way, around here, but he was godlike to everyone that we spoke to.
Oh,
And
that's
like
true.
there's no one that had more affection, pointed at him than Tim did.
So true. Um, from what I understand, your first encounter with Tim really was a phone call coming in from one of his associates, right?
My original encounter was just, yeah, was someone had reached out with this song, and as it went, my assistant had reached out to me and said, "Would you like to do? We have an opportunity to do a song with this artist Avicii." And I wasn't familiar with him, at the time. I kind of lived in a little bluegrass bubble, acoustic music that I just didn't venture too far from. And when I first heard what ED, she had to explain what EDM even was, and when I thought, oh, that's really weird, I said, how about, thank you, but no thank you, because that's just a little strange for me. And she said, no problem. You want to hear the song before we give an official no thank you? And I said, sure. And she sent it to me. And I remember when she was sending it, my first thought was, my daughter listens to everything. I reached out to her. I texted her and said, do you know who Avicii is? And she responded instantly, because I texted and didn't call her. She responded instantly. And she said, "Yeah." She said, "Swedish DJ. He's a genius. One of my favorites. Why?" And I said, It sounds like he wants me to do a song on his upcoming record." And I saw the little bubble where she was typing, and one word came up. She said, "Bullshit."
Wow. Okay.
He couldn't believe um, that he would have ever reached out to me in any way. So when she was so excited about it, I wanted to listen to the song. It came seconds later. I listened to it and I loved it. Like, it was the version he sent me. It was real simple. It was a guitar vocal, but it was an amazing song, and it was in the key I would have sang it in. It was everything I loved about a song. So I thought, we'll try it. And I never met him in person until after that recording. My part of the recording was finished.
Yeah, I mean, this quite often how it happens in this music world in these days. You don't even have to be in the room with someone when you're making the music. You just kind of make it, and if you find a voice that you like, you send it. I get those kind of requests too. But you eventually did get a chance to meet Tim, and I think was it at the same time I we all met in Miami?
Ultrafest was where I first in Miami was the first time I was around Tim. And he was a treasure, man. It was it was much 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 bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like, going in, I didn't do a lot of research on what it was. It just blew my mind when I saw that many people. And again, I mean, there was no question everywhere he went. I mean, he was just the top dog. That's just all there was to it.
Yeah, I mean, your bluegrass festivals are probably not that populated, 50,000 to 100,000 people.
We see, at some of the bigger festivals, we see 20 and 30,000 people.
So they get big. That's
They
a
get,
decent number.
but not the same type of big, and not the same type of volume and energy. Like, it was just
Sure.
what you feel when you're in the presence of the type of music that Tim did. There's no comparison.
Right. And so the lyrics that you sang on Hey Brother was part of a demo that you listened to.
Yes, I actually stayed very, very close to the original demo that was sent to me as far as the nuances of how the vocal was directed, because it was mapped out. I'm like, I loved it. I tried to emulate what I was hearing.
Yeah. Um, and so after Hey Brother was recorded, and after our performance to debut it in Miami, did you think much about it? Um, as a project that you had done, or was it just like, okay, I did this recording, we'll see what happens?
I was blown away by by how far how far the outreach of that song was. Like I started seeing it everywhere. I was in Super Bowl commercials, and people, my phone started blowing up. And I really wasn't. I mean, people obviously, my fans knew it was me. I was, it wasn't a featuring Dan Tyminski type of song. It was just Hey Brother, Avicii, Hey Brother. But I got so much attention and saw it touching people that never listened to that music before. And then I started listening to more of Tim's music and realized I was unaware of that I was familiar with literally every song. It
Yeah,
was how much of his music I heard unknowingly.
right. Yes. I was gonna ask you about the the song "Hey Brother." Um, when you first heard the song, like on the radio or on one of the TV commercials or anything, um, did you? What was your response?
Honestly, you can't help but get tingly when you hear something like that, and especially when it's validated with your cell phone blowing up. Like I couldn't use my phone for a couple days after the Super Bowl. It was insane. Um, yeah, it's I don't know. Like I'm not used to having the audience that Tim had. So
Mhm.
when you hear something like that and you realize, and I got it, they had a country music version where I was listening to it like every day at the cigar shop I would hang out at, and like to have your music come on that often and to have everybody know it's I can't explain that feeling. I mean, it's always been interesting to me, even in my little world of the bluegrass music that I've done. When you hear someone else playing your songs, it's odd. Um, Hey Brother ended up coming on, like one of the TV shows like The Voice or something. And again, all over, my phone started blowing up again. It just I couldn't I'm still realizing what a big deal it was to be a part of that record.
Oh yeah.
It's still, unveiling itself to me.
It's a timeless record with timeless songs. Did that country music version that you mentioned, who recorded it? Was it another artist?
No, it was Tim's version, but they did just a remix on it to make
And
it a
they
little poppy, and country radio swallowed it up.
Wow, okay. And when you received the demo, did it already have all of the dance production along with it?
No, honestly, I recorded that song to a click. It was just a click and a vocal. There was no music to record it to.
Get out. You were just matching the vocal.
I had so I
Tell
had
me there
no.
was a guitar or something in there.
There was
No.
one string of a guitar that for pitch. So I had I had a note that I could hear pitch, but I sang I sang it to a basically a G note in a click track.
That is epic. I never heard that. That's pretty
Never
amazing that
that
you
was
were able to accomplish that recording with so little, of a foundation to go off of.
Well, again, I think, making that recording, that was Tim's genius. I mean, I put everything in time and tried to put a good performance on the vocal, but what he did around that, I had no idea what was going to come at me. So when I heard it for the first time, yeah, it threw me back. I had no idea it was going to be such an epic production. All I had was like I said, a click and a vocal.
Oh my goodness. So from the beginning, that's all you had to go off of. I don't know if I could have made a decision based on a click and a vocal.
Well,
Maybe I could have, but damn.
of the song, and I heard that. I mean, I knew he was going to build something around it. I just thought
Yeah.
whatever I could do to get my part on it and try. We did the vocal and the harmonies the same way. I mean, after we had the lead vocal, we did harmony. We did the vocal tracks and sent them dry to Tim, and then he just sprinkled the fairy dust over it.
That's incredible. That really is. So, since then, have is Hey Brother part of your set wherever you go, wherever you play?
I don't know. Yeah, it's I have played maybe a couple of bluegrass shows where I've just done a couple songs where it had to be bluegrass only without doing it, but by and large, yeah, every show I will do that song for the rest of my life. I think it's an amazing experience, an amazing project to get to be a part of, and I still find even in my bluegrass crowds, everybody knows the song. It's still it's phenomenal.
Right, same with me. I think for my career, I'm happy to play "Wake Me Up" in every show. People wonder, "Do you get tired of it?" And I'm like, "No, this
How do you
is."
get tired of something that has been such a oh,
I can't get tired of making people smile. That makes people happy.
exactly. If I go to a show and to from, and they're my favorite artist, whoever it is, I want to hear the song that I like them for. Like that. What an honor to get to play. If to not play that song would be a horrible thing.
Yeah, kinda against the rule book of entertainment.
Correct.
What are you up to these days? What kind of, creativity are you getting into, Dan?
You know, I have been largely since I recorded Hey Brother, I put more of a focus on songwriting. I took a pub deal and I started writing a bunch of stuff, and I recorded a record that came out on Universal Records called Southern Gothic. That is a record so far from what I had been used to doing. I give Tim a lot of credit for making me want to go in a different direction and just explore an area outside of the box. So that was the thing that I did that followed that up. Now I'm following that up now with a bluegrass record that's about to come out on Rounder Records, which is again a record that I wrote that is all um, we're not going to say straight up comedy, but it's a record full of basically comedy influenced song. It's a record designed to make people smile.
Mhm.
Happy music for happy people, we hope. And
So are the lyrics tongue in cheek?
totally,
Okay.
it's when you get the record, I don't think you'll have to be a big bluegrass fan to enjoy the subject matter of what it's about. It's stuff that everybody has gone through, everyone can relate to. It's just funny stuff. If you've ever met or happen to know a woman, any woman, this record is for you. It's just a relationship bonanza. You get to have a lot of fun in this one.
Cool, I'm looking forward to it. Dan, it's been a pleasure to share these, memories and these thoughts of Tim with you, and so glad that you can join me in this tribute.
Arlo, it's been my pleasure, and I'm such a fan of yours. And I thank Tim for getting me to get to know who you are. And it's just been a treat to spend a few minutes with you. Thank you.
Much appreciated, thank you. Take care.
You got it. Be good.